Today, we're diving into the quiet, honestly kind of unphotogenic habits that research shows actual high net worth households use to build and sustain real wealth. Specifically, we're going to unpack the 7 money habits wealthy households rarely talk about publicly. It's not always what you might think, and by the end of this, we'll have broken down the exact real-world strategies that actually work.
So, if you ask most people to picture financial success, what happens? They immediately picture spending, huge houses, incredibly fast cars, those luxurious vacation photos on social media. We're totally conditioned to see these flashy items as the ultimate finish line, right? But when researchers actually sit down with self-made millionaires, the reality they uncover is a much different, and frankly, much less photogenic story.
The absolutely crucial point here is that true wealth is usually what you do not see. It's the money that hasn't been spent just to impress other people. The habits that build real wealth, people don't show them off. It's the fully funded retirement account, not the flashy Rolex on the wrist. Sure, these things don't make for an exciting Instagram post, but they're exactly what builds an unbreakable financial foundation.
This brings us to habit 1, living meaningfully below your means. For a massive share of self-made millionaires, this means driving ordinary, 5-year-old reliable cars instead of financing some luxury lease and living in moderate middle-income neighborhoods. Think about your last raise for a second. Where did that extra money actually go? This highlights the absolute biggest trap you have to avoid, which is lifestyle creep. The households that build the most wealth let their savings rate creep upward with each raise instead of their spending. If they get a $5,000 raise, that money goes straight into investments, not a lifestyle upgrade.
So here is habit 2, and what's really fascinating here is the practical reasoning behind how they spend. Wealthy individuals deliberately prioritize spending on things that protect their time and their health. We're talking about paying for help around the house, ensuring they get quality sleep, and investing in preventative health care. Why? Well, because buying visible status loses its psychological thrills super quickly due to what's called the reference point problem. You buy the fancy car, and within a month it's just your normal car. But time and health, those provide lasting, totally irreplaceable value, and they are incredibly hard to rebuild once you lose them.
Habit 3 is all about treating your savings and investing as a completely non-negotiable fixed cost. You can think of it as a strict 3-step flow. Step 1, your income arrives. Step 2, you pay yourself first. You literally treat that contribution exactly the same as your rent or a utility bill. It's not just whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. By automating those contributions directly, you completely remove the emotional decision-making before any discretionary spending in Step 3 even happens. It seems like a small structural tweak, but it has a massive effect.
And that perfectly sets up habit 4. Because wealth builders treat debt very differently based on what it's actually financing. Financing an appreciating investment, like a reasonably priced home, that's a tool. But financing a depreciating purchase, like a luxury car or some discretionary goods on high-interest consumer credit, that is a trap. Not all debt is treated equally, for sure.
We really need to emphasize this next point. Carrying revolving, high-interest debt on things that lose value the literal second you buy them is one of the most reliable predictors of financial struggle. And here's the kicker. This is true regardless of your income level. You can make a massive salary, but if you're funding a depreciating lifestyle with high-interest debt, you are moving backward.
This brings us to habit 5, tracking net worth, not just income. Guys, this is perhaps the most crucial mindset shift of this entire explainer. Income is just a flow. Net worth is the actual scoreboard. Looking at income alone can be incredibly misleading. You could have a sky-high income, but if you have huge fixed costs and zero savings, your net worth is easily going to get beaten by someone with a modest income who just saves consistently. To really grasp your financial health, you have to regularly track your total assets minus your total liabilities.
To protect that scoreboard, habit 6 relies heavily on diversification. Financial advisors who work with high net worth clients see this all the time. Concentrated risk, putting all your eggs in one basket, sure, it can produce faster gains, but it also produces a much wider range of possible outcomes, including totally catastrophic loss. Diversification, spreading your investments across different assets, is how you achieve long-term wealth preservation. Building wealth and keeping wealth require very different strategies, and diversifying is exactly how you keep it.
And that brings us to habit 7. Households that build and maintain real wealth treat financial education as a continuous, lifelong practice. It's not just a one-time choice you make in your 20s and forget about. They are always reviewing their statements, understanding their fees, and periodically reassessing their plans. So, to quickly recap these 7 quiet habits,
They don't require a massive income to get started, and they definitely don't guarantee you'll get rich quick. But sustained over decades, they reliably outperform any single dramatic financial move.
Ultimately, none of these habits are exciting enough to make a flashy social media photo. They just don't make for a clickbait thumbnail. But that boring, repeatable consistency is exactly why they work so incredibly well. It's slower, it's a lot less exciting, but it is real. The wealth nobody shows off is usually the wealth that's actually still there.
I want to leave you with this final thought so you can audit your own financial life. Ask yourself right now, are you tracking a temporary flow or are you building the actual scoreboard? Which of these 7 quiet habits are you already practicing, and which one is completely missing from your strategy? Think about how you can implement that missing piece today.